So my name is Gautam, and I graduated last year, and I go to USC for computer science. So college, it was definitely an eye-opener. It's not the standard 8 to 2:30 high school schedule. You get maybe a class at 9, then you have a couple hours break, then you go to class at 2, come back, go to class at 5, come back, and you have all this free time in the middle. Is really deceptively free time because you're supposed to be using it for something that's useful, like going to clubs, doing your homework. So initially, I went into college thinking, oh yeah, I have tons of free time. I can do whatever I want, whenever I want. And it turns out most of the time is spent doing homework or learning what I was supposed to learn in class. So it's definitely an eye opener, but it's also been a lot of fun because college gives you a lot more opportunities to learn whatever you're really interested in. For me, since I went in as computer science, there were a lot of clubs in which you can apply your knowledge of computer science. You can go to hackathons where people actually give you large prizes and free software just for knowing how to code. So that was a lot of fun. So I would definitely say the computer science courses I took here were the most useful and most helpful, just because it taught you how to think and how to solve problems that you normally wouldn't have the chance to in your math class or maybe your English or history class. Just because if you're presented with a problem in a computer science class, you have a large array of tools that you can use to solve it. You just don't know how. So you spend most of the time tinkering about figuring out what combination of commands best solves your problem, which really teaches you a lot of critical thinking skills and a lot of problem solving skills that I feel are lacking in the humanities courses. So I would say the IB classes were valuable in that it taught you how to deal with a lot of mundane work. Other than that, I didn't really think that they were that as useful as they advertised. And beyond, in college, the IB Diploma really only helped me for getting sophomore standing, which means I can register for classes early. The only problem with that is because since everybody else took AP courses, they got the exact same benefit and they got to get out of more classes than me. So I would say while the IB Diploma teaches you how to deal with the work, it's not necessarily as useful as they say it is outside of high school. So I think I've already said this, but definitely the computer science courses, the Java programming, intro to C++, and data structures, just because it was basically my college classes all over again. So at USC, what's really interesting is that the first semester of computer science is nearly the same as the first semester of computer science at Sunset, and the second semester is just a little bit harder. So taking the C++ courses at Sunset prepared me extremely well for computer science at USC. So I would definitely say those are two of my favorite classes and the classes I thought were the most helpful at high school. I might have said this before, but definitely the vast array of opportunities that you get. So at college, I was able to find clubs that I could build things in, and that's normally not an opportunity in high school. I joined a club where we were designing a 3D body scanner just using a Kinect, and we spent a while doing that, and that was something where I learned how to code, not necessarily through projects, but in one large project, learning how to work with a lot of people, and going to hackathons, which is spending basically 36 hours straight with a lot of coffee, a lot of Red Bull, building up something and hoping that the judges like what you do and giving you free stuff. So I think those were definitely some of the best times I had. I think definitely knowing how to deal with a lot of work at once, just because managing your time, that's something the IB Diploma definitely taught us, just because they threw so much work at you. You have to figure out what's the optimal arrangement to get things done. So that was one thing. And the second thing was definitely knowing how to code, because a lot of people in my courses came in knowing absolutely nothing. So coming from a school that gives you a very strong background in coding definitely puts you ahead of the pack. And since college courses are mostly curved, once you finish the first half, the second half is basically riding the curve to the A.